Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today on episode 203, I was very privileged to have Debrah on. She is a business coach, a motivational speaker, author, and generally a nice person all round. We talked about many things, her time growing up in Zimbabwe. We talked about how she came over to the UK, and yeah, how she is helping young ladies in Africa and in the world start up their own businesses. I've got to say, it was a joy to speak to her, and I look forward to talking to her again. I've got to say, she is African. Africa is her. So please sit back, enjoy the podcast. Don't forget, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy the show. Yeah. Peace. Oh. Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today on episode 203, I am very lucky, privileged to have Debrah Mowlem on the podcast today. Now, she is a motivational speaker, author, and yes, a business startup coach as well. How are you today, my lady?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me. And how are you?
I am good. I am smiling. It is a Friday night, and I'm here with great company. Oh, yeah. I think I've left her speechless.
What can I say? Great company indeed.
Well, what can I say? Yeah, I am very curious. Like, this is the thing. You are now a Londoner, but London is not where you hail from originally. Where was that?
I come from Zimbabwe.
Oh, Zimbabwe. Yes. Like, how long were you in Zimbabwe for before you came to the sunny shores of the United Kingdom?
I came here 30 years ago, but I was already an adult when I came.
Mm.
So I was born and bred in a village in Zimbabwe.
Mm. I see. What was the thing what made you decide to go, you know what? The Zimbabwe life is not for me. Let me do my bit in the UK.
I got married.
Yes,
I got married here.
Right.
I met a guy, fell in love, got married, moved.
Oh, that's nice. Like, are you still married to this lovely gentleman?
No.
Okay, maybe not so much for lovely gentleman.
No, he's still lovely, but not that lovely.
Okay. You are no. I must find myself my own way. So I have to ask this. So, with regards to coming over here in the UK and doing what you're doing, what made you become a business startup coach?
Growing up, I always knew that I'm not made to work for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So even back in Zimbabwe, I used to do my own businesses, and I had to learn business. When I came here, new country, new culture, everything. So I had to learn everything I know from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned most of the things I learned on the internet, which is really more confusing. Because when you Google, you get thousands of information that's so contradicting and so confusing to a novice. But I persevered, and it took me some time to learn. And after I'd learned, I realized that most of what I'd learned was so confusing because it was written in big jargony words by people who are gurus and all that. So I wrote my first business book, and I took everything I'd learned and simplified it so that someone like me can pick up that book and read it and actually start a business. After I did that, I then remembered that in the village, we've got women who work so hard for so little. So I decided to open, it was just one WhatsApp group. And I thought, okay, let me answer questions. Because when people bought the book, they started asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you say this on this page, how do I go about that? And so I started answering questions. And before I knew it, one group led to over 200 groups and over 20,000 women. And I didn't call myself a coach for years. I was just someone who just answers questions for people and just helping women, especially in Africa and third world countries mostly. And this coach thing only came about when people say, oh, but you're a coach. I said, no, not really. Yeah, but you're coaching us. And so I thought, oh, okay. So that makes me a coach.
Hey, well, you know what? Everyone's calling sometimes comes to them in our most unexpected way. But like, yeah, like what would you say was one of the sort of first sort of business lessons you picked up?
That it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. It's not a big deal at all. That failure in business, it's a lesson, because next time you start again, you've learned that. You've learned that lesson. You won't make that mistake again. And I've met many business people. You cannot make money unless you failed. Nobody just starts and succeed in business. I haven't met any anyway who said, well, I started and I made it, here I am. Many I've met lost everything. They failed so many times to the point that people think you're crazy. Like, you're still doing that? You're now 40. It's not going to work. Stop. But if it's in you, if it's what you want, it's okay to keep getting up. You will succeed.
Yeah. Now, what I think a lot of people forget, the most successful people on this planet are, if you look at them at one part of their life, they're some of the biggest failures in the world. Like, it's just a case of they kept on going, like you say, and then it was like, yeah, that one or two things which come into play as by providing them with great success. Everyone sees the end product, but no one actually sees the journey, you know?
And it's the journey that makes the whole thing worth it. I work with a lot of women who say, but I'm so scared. What if I fail? It's okay. It's all right. There's a saying that you fall 9 times. You fall 8 times and get up 9 times. You have to keep getting up. You can't just fall and say, oh, well, people laugh at me. Oh, I'll lose everything. It's all right to lose everything. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no, like this is the thing, that saying, like, fall 9 times, get up 10, fall like 10 times, get up 11, and like, yeah, keep pushing forward. It's like one of those things where, how can I put it? People hear it, but they don't believe it. Like, what helped you find that sort of belief in that yourself?
It has to come from within you. This is the thing. You can't influence someone to do something passionately. It has to be from inside. If you are passionate about what you're doing, nobody can convince you to leave that path. But nobody can put you on a path you're not passionate about. You might follow it for a kilometer or so, and then you think, you know what, this is not for me. When it's in you, you are going to walk that path, even if it hurts.
I see. So answer me this, like when you talk of a path, like the thing what comes to my mind is a vision and a purpose. Okay. Like, how did you find your very own vision and purpose?
I grew up different. I call myself weird.
You call yourself weird. I call myself weird.
What? I do. And it's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Yes.
Because being weird meant I was different. And I knew that. And I embraced it earlier on in life. I was the kind of kid who didn't mind playing on my own. I didn't care to follow. So others will be going north. I'm going south just because I want to. So I knew from very early that I'm an author.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from very early that I'm not meant to work for someone else. I did have jobs, but they were like, okay, I'll get a job. And they say, oh, do you want a full time? And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not staying that long.
Mm.
Because to me, this is a stepping stone to where I want to be.
Yeah, I hear you. That's interesting. But you know, when you say you're an author, what type of author do you see yourself as? I have to ask because, like, yeah, you're like you say you're weird, like you go in your own direction, and yeah, you're an author. But that means what type of author are you? What's the thing what gets that spark going in your life?
I have written, oh God, I've written autobiographies. I've written um, all sorts, really. I've written business books.
Yeah.
If I want to put something on paper, I will put it. I'm now doing children's books. But writing for me is a hobby that I knew from an early age. I could make little stories and write them in the sand. So that hobby means, except for sci-fi, I can't get my head around fiction. I can't get it interesting enough.
Mm. Okay, okay. Because like this is a thing. Okay, look, many people have hobbies, right? Like, look, you can say, yeah, what I'm doing right now is kind of a hobby at this present time. But when you go, yes, I'm like I make books as a hobby. That is like quite an undertaking, to say the least, because there's a lot of planning. I imagine, well, not less if you're like a type of person go, I can put out a book in 2 days. But most of the time, there's a lot of planning. There's keeping a lot of world building. If you're doing like a book which is not science fiction but more fiction based, or if with your autobiography, it's like, yeah, remembering this, researching that. With business, there's a lot of researching, like making sure those methods and that methodology makes sense and works. It There is a lot of time what goes into that. So just saying it's a hobby, I mean, it's like, yeah, quite an epic hobby because like,
No, but because this is the thing, everyone has got me time.
yes.
People take that me time. My me time is writing because I love what I do.
Mm.
I actually love the writing bit of it to the point that at one time I've got 3 or 4 books going, because if that book is not really flowing, I can leave it and go to that one. It's what I do to relax. That's why I call it a hobby.
Okay. Okay. So you doing multiple books at the same time. So your time management skills and well, and let me just say, your like mental like capacity to like hold things into place must be quite strong.
No, not really. This is the thing. When it's something you love, it just comes naturally.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for life, really. So I know many people say I can't write. It's really hard. When you know something, when you do something, it's easy for you. And it's so easy for me to say, oh, writing is so easy, but then it's not so easy for everyone.
Mm.
So to me, no, it's not hard at all. It's something it's something I have to do. I love to do. So yeah.
Mm. I see, I see. So with that, what is the latest book you've been working on recently?
Yes, the latest book I've been working on is
Mm-hmm.
what I talk about, because as a speaker, I talk about identity.
Yes.
And because I know you have to know yourself, to accept yourself, to embrace your identity, and to work on yourself in order to achieve your purpose. Because many people talk about purpose, but you can't jump the identity bit. And I see from working with women, many people have jumped the identity bit. That's why we live lives that are photocopied. Like we live like, I want to be like Nicki Minaj, I want to be like this person, and I want to be. Why can't you just be you? Because you are enough. You are enough as you are. So my next book is, I went through that myself in my own personal life. That's why I talk about it, because it's my personal experience. So my next book is it's a book called Fuck Normal.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh,
went
is
there.
it now?
I went there. My next book is a book.
Yes.
You did not expect that, did you?
Oh, no, I did expect that. And yes, and that's
It's
the reason why I played the music I played before we came on. It's like,
it's called Fuck Normal, Embrace Your Weird.
okay.
Because we tend to think we are molded into what we are supposed to be from childhood.
Mm.
A man doesn't cry. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to sit like that. You're supposed to behave like that. You're supposed, religion, society, community, family, everything is molding us into what we are supposed to be. And then in that whole process, we lose our own identities. I am who I'm supposed to be all the time. In church, I'm supposed to be like this. At work, I'm supposed to be like this. In the street, I'm supposed to be. You can't wear that. You can't eat that. You can't do that. You can't. Too many rules molding us into what we are supposed to be. The only thing we are supposed to be is good people. That's my thinking. Our personalities is different for a reason. If we are all just like the church pastor's wife,
I think that would be rather distressing for the church pastor if he saw me as his wife. That's another story.
and then we forget that I'm Debrah, and I normally just swim up river for no apparent reason, but just to see what's up there.
Mm.
And I find people maybe boring. And that's okay. That's who you are. And I've got weaknesses that I need to work on. Like I can get angry very easily. I need to work on that. Now we live our lives too molded, especially I speak for Africa. We are too colonized to think that Africa is bad. Being African is evil. Being African is backward. We are not good enough. It has gone political, I know, right?
Well, like this is the thing. Like this is like, well, I would say, how can I put it? There will be some people which would agree with you that yeah, that is a sort of the sort of common theme about Africa, and that's the way it normally plays out. But I would say there is a wave of change which is going through the whole of the continent at this present time. There's more stability, like there's huge investments which are going on,
It's,
and like there's growth.
it's happening, yes, but it's not enough.
Mm.
Africans are we have got a big continent and we've got strong people. We need to start writing our own history.
Yeah.
We need to start speaking up.
Yeah.
We've got very intelligent people. We need to start using that intelligence for us.
Yeah. And look, everything you've just said, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just a case of at this present time, with regards to getting the voice out and getting like heard, like, well, and this could be amongst like the world, but I would say more or less like through like the continent of Africa itself to build on that community, to make it stronger, to make it better, and to like face this new century, which we're only like 21 years in, and there's a lot which has gone on in this century so far, like economic turmoil, like pandemics, and yeah, look, major terrorist attacks, which has happened. But the whole future for like Africa is bright. When I was when I was merely a lad, like the sort of narrative what came out of Africa was, hey, mostly South Africa and the stuff with the townships. And if it wasn't that, it was basically the Ethiopian famine and lots of sort of war, conflict, and everything like that. That was like the time of the 80s and early 90s. But now, as we hit like late 90s, early 2000s, it's like, okay, yeah, Nigeria, like, yes, birthplace of my mother, and like, you know what I mean, where I had like have loose connections with, like, yeah, I when I say loose connections, like, yeah, I like the food, but I haven't actually been out there a lot. But Nigeria is most populous country in Africa, and now it is turning it. It is like the economic. It's becoming the economic powerhouse of the continent through, like, yes, its natural resources, like the talent and people there, and yeah, it's fast becoming like, hey, maybe the Silicon Valley of the actual continent, and like, yeah, Zimbabwe gone through some troubles, but South Africa is next door neighbor. Is like
We need more. We need, it all starts with identity. You see, it all starts with, this is the thing. In Africa, we've got religion.
Yeah.
That's number one. What does the religion condemn? Our ancestors. Okay? Our ancestors are evil. How? Why? Why? Because saying my ancestors are evil is saying Africa is evil, because my ancestors are Africa. I am Africa. I'm not evil. My father wasn't evil. My granddad wasn't evil. And if a man couldn't read and write, does that make him evil? So how come in religion there is honor your father and mother, but your ancestors are evil? Hello?
Well, yeah. Well, this is the whole thing. What I would simply say with that, yes, by all means. Like that, when you go into the sort of realms of religion and how,
You know,
like, doctrine,
it's so controversial. You're gonna get calls.
And I was like, hey, like, if I get cancelled, I'm like, I think I'll be okay. But with regards to like sort of religious doctrine and its sort of teachings and the way it is, like, I think it's a case of, yeah, many years ago, when people used to think a lot more simple, like more black and white, and not see the sort of areas of gray, yes, that was like, yeah, a strong comfort. And look, I would say, yeah, with myself, I do lean more on the religious side of things. But with regards to looking at the world and its complexity and all of the different things which go on in the world, yeah, I know that. Look, I know there's a lot more gray which goes on in this world than, like, yeah, the black and white. And look, if someone goes, oh yeah, your ancestors are evil, I'm like, why are my ancestors evil? I go, yeah, what about your ancestors? Let's talk about that. And you go, yeah, how far do you want to go back? Because if you go back far enough in everyone's history, yeah, there is a time where it's like going, yeah, what your family was doing back then wasn't very enlightened, wasn't very bright, and could be considered like evil and wrong in today's society. It's just one of those things where
and this is the thing, history happened. Okay, whatever happened. It's now time for us to say, you know what, that was not good enough. I am good enough. Me as Africa, my identity. We don't need to bleach to look better. We do not need long hair to look better. I am Africa. And this is me, authentic. Accept that. I'm not saying don't wear wigs. No. Wear a wig because you want to, not because you feel you have to look better. Not because you feel the pressure of, if I don't wear a wig, people will think. No. You are good enough. Your identity is you.
Now, this is the thing. Like, you've mentioned identity a number of times. And like, the whole thing is, one of the things I'm curious, like, to hear from yourself, like, okay, how does one discover their identity? How does one find their authentic self, rather than sort of the looking an image they might see out there on the TV, the internet or whatnot, and go, right, this is me. Because look, you are a very strong-willed individual, as I can tell.
So this is where the new book comes in. It's a self-help book. It's a process you have to go through. It's I had to go through the process. It's a whole lot of process that you have to go inside, dig it up, work it through, get to the surface, which is now, and then move forward.
Did you say safe place, which is now?
Surface, to the surface, present time.
Okay, yes, right, surface. Okay.
So you need to go back and find out where you lost it. Where did you think you were not good enough? Where did you think you were too loud? Where were you told to not do that? Don't be yourself. Where were you told to be like, why can't you just be like your brother? Oh, you're saying my brother is better than me? What are you saying here, mother? That hurt you had to deal with, that abuse you had to deal with, that sadness you had to deal with, that anger you had to deal with. It's all in there. It's what shaped you to be you now. You have to go back. You have to dig it up. You have to deal with it. You have to forgive you.
Now, would you say that comes from a place of comfort?
Oh, yeah.
You say it comes from a place of comfort. I'm interested.
Oh, yeah. Because once you've dealt with it, this is the thing, it might be really painful to go back and deal with stuff. Some stuff is very painful. Some stuff can be very happy. But when you get to the present now, I've realized my identity. I'm Debrah, I'm a BCD, but I need to work on this. I need to work on that. It makes me a better person.
Because like, this is the thing, like when you say like what you've just said there, for me, that is not coming from a place of comfort. It's coming from a place of discomfort. Like, because like on the sort of day to day, if you want to improve, if you want to get better at anything in life, you need to push yourself. And like sitting down with some comfy slippers, watching a TV show with maybe a nice cup of tea or a nice drink doesn't get the work done. Going out there, facing those challenges on a day-to-day basis and like really pushing yourself a bit by bit makes you get better each and every time. It's like if you were a runner, if you like the first day you went, I'm going to run 10 miles, and this is the first time you ever ran, you might run 100 meters, be very gassed out, and like you go back home, rest up. The next day you run 110 meters, and so on and so on and so on as you progress down the journey. And getting past each stage of discomfort just makes you that little bit stronger.
Why are you calling it discomfort? Because sitting on the couch is not comfortable either. I know people say I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Why is it your comfort zone when you are sitting there miserable and broke?
Yeah, because this is the reason why it's called its comfort zone, is because
it's not comfortable though, because you're broke. You're sitting there broke and probably obese.
Well, like the whole thing is, if you got someone sitting there and they're not doing anything, yeah, they're more than likely quite comfortable, or they're not willing to push themselves to sort of change that moment of their life. Because like there's a story, like basically a man is walking down the street, like he passes this house, and like there's an old man sitting there, like watching the world go by. Next to him is a dog lying there, and the dog's like, and like the man doesn't pay any attention. The next day, same thing, sees the old man like looking at life, and the dog's like, on the third day, same thing happens, and he goes, what is wrong with your dog? And he goes, well, my dog's lying on a nail, but it hasn't really got like done anything to change his situation yet.
Yeah.
And like, this is the thing. I think a number of people get comfortable with whatever pain they might have in their life. And you just mentioned obesity. It could be like financial, it could be like mental and stuff like this, many, many things. They get comfortable with being in that sort of realm in their life, but they don't actually, rather than sort of like getting up and like pushing past that level of comfort and like, yeah, making themselves discomfort, like uncomfortable, living that realm of like discomfort by challenging themselves, they won't do it. And this is a lot of people out there. They won't do it. So this is the reason why I say, yeah, discomfort.
And I don't call it comfort. Maybe it's comfort for them, but for me, comfort is moving. It's doing something. It's achieving. It's maybe because I love what I do, but I'm trying to not talk people into that, but make people aware that you can't achieve your purpose unless you know yourself.
Yeah, but like this is the thing. What I would say about you, rather than like being comfortable, I would say you're driven. You are the type of person to go forward rather than sit back. You look at people, what do sit and not actually like go, yeah, I want to go out and achieve something today. And look at them go, that's not like, why are you living your life like this when there's like so much life to live out there?
Yes, because it's like people say, oh, I'm now 40. I'm past it. I can't start a business now. It's too late. Or I can't achieve what I wanted to achieve now. It's too late for me. I'm 50, and you're thinking, oh, how do you know how long we've got? What if you've got another 40 to go? And they've already written yourself off. You know, even if you're 80, so what? Do what you want with your life. I mean, if it's a year, a month, 10 years, at least you make yourself happy for that time. Instead of, oh, now it's over for me. Look at me. Oh, what can I do? A lot.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If you're passionate about, if you want it, people laugh when I say you have to want it more than you want to breathe. If it's something you want to, and I'm not just talking about business, because we all got different dreams. If it's your dream and maybe you've put it on a shelf and life happens, gets in the way, and you think, oh, there's no way I can sing anymore. I mean, singing is for the young ones and all this. Yeah, why not? Take it off the shelf, dust it off, and start again. See where you can go with it. I mean, if anything, all this that has happened for the past 2 years has taught us that things can end, things can change. And I wouldn't be speaking to you now, maybe, if it wasn't for the COVID. Because COVID is allowed us to reach further in terms of networking. Because sitting in our houses, we have networked so much and communicated with people far than what we would have done if we were not locked down. So if anything, this has taught us that if I can reach the world sitting in my lounge, what can I do if I actually get out there?
No, look, this is the thing, yeah. Like with regards to saying like many a person like going, yeah, like life has passed me by. My next chapter, I have no more sort of chapters to give or anything like this. Look, yeah, with regards to last year, the last 18 months, good God. Now, look, people like tomorrow is never promised. You got to like anyone who thinks I'm gonna like live tomorrow, like tomorrow is a guarantee. Look, the likelihood of you seeing tomorrow, depending on your age, is high, but there's a million and one things which can happen to like make that not a reality. There's only two guarantees, they say, death and taxes. And look, death, you have no idea when that's gonna happen. But taxes come April the 4th. You got to make sure like your taxes are in order because yeah, inland revenue will come for you, and they do not like not having their money. It's
Yeah, you
yeah,
can say that again.
yeah. So like this is the thing. I always sometimes like when I hear stories of when people have retired. There was this one story. This person retired. I can't remember it. Like it was I believe it was a gentleman. He was like, yeah, oh, I want to play cello. He's like, I've got all the time in the world. I want to play cello. He's like, okay, started to learn to play the cello. After a year, he like got pretty good. After 2 years, he was good enough to be like the third celloist in an orchestra. And like, you know what? He could have went, yeah, you know what? I've retired. I played a little bit of golf and maybe just sit back, read a book. But yeah, went out there, pushed themselves to see what he could do. And cello was his passion at that present time. I don't even know if it was his passion, but I would say it was the thing what interested him. And he got a passion for it to lead him into like being a third chair in an orchestra, you know?
Because I meet many women, I talk of women quite a lot, who
Mm,
sort of say, oh, I'm not educated enough. I don't have a degree.
mm.
So, and they feel like they apologize for that. Oh, I can't do what you do because I'm not educated enough. And you think, how educated do you think I am?
Mm.
What is life? It's all about learning. I get up, I learn. What do you think what I learned 30 years ago is still relevant now? I mean, who uses Pythagoras theorem? I mean, who does?
Well, like, you know what? I'm sure there'll be a number of people who raise up their hand and go, yeah, but I know what
Those
you
people,
mean.
that's in their career, that's in work. Can you imagine in your household saying to your kids, hey, give me that Pythagoras theorem and I need to cook?
Well, you know
What
what?
are you cooking?
If you did that, I'll be very intrigued about what you are cooking.
Exactly. People might use it in their careers, in their jobs, in their business, whatever. But
Mm,
it's not something that I go to ask that to get that Pythagoras theorem. I did a lot of history, I mean, in school and everything else. I learned a lot about, European history, World War One. Well, it's important, it's very interesting and all that. But
mm,
it's not something I need in life all the time. That means what I'm doing now, I'm learning as I go. When I get up, I need to learn even in business, especially now in business, because how they did business even 5 years ago is not how they're doing it today. It's changing like that all the time. The marketing, the new software is coming every day. So if you think because you don't have a degree, you can't do A, B, C, D, you're lying to yourself. Because whatever you did, they did in their degree, whatever, if you did economics, and
mm.
then you decide, economics is not really for me. I want to start a business. That economics won't even come into the equation at all.
Mm.
You go into business and they say, oh, you did economics. Okay, chuck that thing over there. Let's learn. Let's start from scratch. You need to learn this now because this is a different ball game altogether.
No, indeed.
So
Indeed it is.
all the excuses we give is just on us. It's on me. If I can't do that, it's on me. I've got a friend who's he was born spina bifida.
Okay.
He's never walked, he's in a wheelchair. This guy is a personal trainer, he does boxing.
Nice.
And if you see him, he's had over 40 operations to straighten his spine, to do these 40 operations. This guy lives alone. And I look at him and think, so what's my excuse? What's stopping me?
No, you know what? People like that, I often look as fuel for my own sort of life and ambition.
Yeah,
Because like the whole thing is, yeah, the limitations, if you're physically healthy, mentally aware and like intelligent, they're like many of the obstacles in life should be fairly easy to get past. But it comes down to willpower, focus, and determination. If you don't have those qualities, then it becomes hard, even the most physically able, perfect human being in the world. But when you see people who are not, but they've got that like will, determination, passion, like to make it happen, oh, you see some special things there. You see, like, that's where you see the magic in this world. That's where you see the qualities of this universe, which you like, oh, wow, there's some greatness there.
And people say, oh, it's so hard. Of course it's hard. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yes.
It's got to be hard. I mean, come on. You look at people at the top in whatever field. Talk to them. Nobody got there easy.
Mm-hmm.
Even people who were born there, some of them fell all the way down and started. People who run, people who play football. They got to train, they've got to wake up, they've got to be disciplined. It's not easy to get to the top of whatever it is you want to do. And if you expect it to come easy, honestly, you might as well, your dream might as well be just sleeping.
You know what, like, yeah, you know what? This is the thing what makes me smile. You've got that, like, that no nonsense, like African lady energy right there in you. Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, but I can't do it. Shut up. No. It's like, no.
No, because I grew up in the village.
Yeah.
I'm scared of poverty because I lived poverty. I don't want to go back there again. So I have to keep working. I have to keep running. I can't let it catch me. I know how it is to go to bed without eating 3 days in a row. I don't want that. I want to not eat as a choice, not because there's nothing. Do you want to eat? No, but there's loads to eat, but I'm choosing not to eat. I can't eat because there's nothing to eat. That's not a good position to be in. That means I have to keep going. I have to keep working. I have to keep achieving. I don't have the luxury of sitting down and mourning and going, oh, the world is so hard. It's so hard. Yes, of course it is.
You know what? I have this vibe sometimes, especially if you're like, I would say, if you're in a group, if you're at a seminar here in the UK and stuff like this, and you hear of some of the things some people call hardship, that you're like going, that isn't hard. That's a fairly simple thing to deal with. Like, get on with it. Like, do you find you have to sometimes restrain yourself for sometimes laying down some heavy truth?
No.
Okay.
This is where the weird comes in.
Okay.
I say, I know many people struggle because they want to be liked.
Yes.
Right? I don't have that problem. You might like me, you might not. I will say what I think and I'll say my truth.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say it in a hateful way. I don't go out of my way to hate people. If it's facts, I'll say the facts. I won't be offensive or anything like that. I might swear here and there, but it won't be like offending you or pointing something out of you. But if it's facts, we're going to say the facts. Because if I don't tell you the truth, you might not like to hear it now. But believe me, 5-10 years down the line, you will remember that.
Mm.
Most things are hard to hear. Most truths are hard to hear. But there are some people you sort of think, oh, what he said was true, but it was really like, he punched me right where it hurts.
You know what? There's a little thing I would add to that. Truths are hard to hear if the person is kind of aware of that truth. If they're not, that sort of blissful ignorance, as they say, ignorance is bliss. You lay it down on them, it's like dum 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 dum, and they're just passing by. Yeah, it must.
And most time we know. I mean, most time you know these things. I mean, do I look big in this dress? You know, you look big in that dress. Shut up, woman. Honestly, why are you trying to make me lie to you? That's some of the truth that hurts, because all you're trying to do is to make me convince you that it's right when you know it's not right. Why are you trying to make me witness in this lying business you're doing right here? It's okay, isn't it? No, it's not. Seriously, it's not. Oh, but how can you say it's not? You know it's not. That's why you're asking me. You want me to convince you?
Do not make me complicit in your lies, your web of lies.
Aiding and abetting. Stop yourself. I'm a Jesus following woman. I won't do that. I'm not doing that. Jesus, you want me to burn in hell?
Oh, look at that! Look at the look at you, man. No,
no, I am not doing that. Does this dress look good on me? No, it doesn't. Seriously, take it off. It really does not. But I thought, no, don't think. Just take it off. Don't think about it.
Like, apart from your radical candor, as they would put it, like quite charmingly. So now, what would you say has been some of the challenges you've has come up for ladies you've been trying to help with regards to starting up businesses? Because that's been predominantly in Africa. Is that correct, or has that been over?
Yes, it's mostly African countries. I work with African women. The most challenging I find is people want it tomorrow. I get people who say, I've been trying to do business for 3 months. It's not working. I'm giving up. 3 months. Child, sit yourself down. What are you talking about? 3 months. You haven't even 3 months. Can't even grow anything in 3 months. What are you talking about? Well, I've failed 4 times now. Why are you counting it? I've met people who have failed 20, 30 years of trying and trying and trying. And of course, this is the thing. Most people, like in Africa, most people are being pushed into business because of the economic situation. It's not in them. People are qualified for jobs. They are educated for careers. But because there is no jobs in most situations, they are now being forced to go into business and to fend for themselves. So these people are coming to learn business, but it's not in them. Okay, they are just trying to survive, just to make it work until I get a job. Okay, some have got children to feed and all that. So they expect it. Okay, I've got a business management degree, right, from the University of Africa, of course. And now I should be good in business. That means if I start now, by 6 months, I should be a millionaire. And when that doesn't work, then they come and say, but I've been trying and I've been doing ABCD and how come it's not working? And you think, yeah, I need you to sit down and I need you to listen. It's not because you tried, it didn't work, you stop. It's not what you're doing. It's the situation might be bad, your business idea might be bad. I mean, let's learn from this and move. You can't. Also, the fact that what do people say? That's very challenging. Most people, this is why identity, we're going back to identity. If you know yourself enough, you are happy with yourself, you're proud with yourself, you don't care what other people say.
Yeah.
Now, most women, I'm not saying all, so please don't call me. Most women struggle with what do other people say? Okay, what will the church say? What will the community say? What will my friends say? Because we want to be seen to be keeping up with the Joneses. And that's such a struggle to the point that they're scared to do this in case I fail and then people laugh at me. I'm scared to start again. Oh, people will just think I'm dumb. My advice to them is don't tell people that you're doing it so that they won't know. If you're scared, people find out. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, it's all right. But many people struggle with that. What do people say syndrome?
Yeah, I hear that. But one of the things with like awareness and being authentic, knowing yourself is very true. But there's sort of thing what comes into addition with like in a sort of realm of business, depending what type of business you want to do, is being aware of the sort of circumstances of the now. Because many people often look at a business which has been successful back then, but it's not a case of those circumstances are not true. Say if we like, say if I went, Deborah, I've got an idea. We're going to start Microsoft. We're going to start our own Microsoft. What was true back then when there was no no real major software companies and computers were just a mere, like the potential was just on the horizon of seeing how big and vast it could be. Yeah, that was great then. But if we like try to do that now, it's like, there is a Microsoft. How do you convince the whole planet to all of a sudden stop using Microsoft to use whatever you've got as a software company? It's a totally different playing field. And yeah. But do you find some people just sometimes, that some ladies you might be working with don't actually take that into account as well?
It's a matter of what Debrah is doing works, so I'm going to do that as well. And they look at it and think, yes, I can do that. If she can do it, I can do it. No. First off, where do you live? Where are you going to do this business? What's your market like? Because like, for example, I come from Africa. I come from Zimbabwe. The economy is really bad. That means most people can just afford the necessities. I can't go there and sell shoes. Like women fashion shoes, they will sell, but not as much as sugar, for example.
Yeah.
Because people first buy necessities before they buy luxuries. So whatever business you want to start, look at your customers. Who is your avatar? Who's going to buy into your business? If it's not solving any problems, like if I was in Zimbabwe now, I'll be selling bread. I'll be selling school uniforms, necessities, salt. Everybody's going to need salt at least once a day. Every household is going to use salt. Dinner is at the table. You might not put it in, but it's there on the table. So if I sell salt, I'm not going to go broke. Now, if I sell shoes, the lady will look at the shoes and go, I like them. They're good. I can wear this to church. I can rock this. What I do is, you leave your shoes here. I'll pay you next month. And she means to pay. She really means to pay. The only problem is next month, things happen.
Yes.
Money is not enough. I turn up, I want my money. She doesn't have the money. My business is broke. She loves the shoes. She meant to pay. There's nothing dodgy about it, but things happen. The economy is not good enough. Now, if I'd sold salt for $1, because she needs that salt, she's going to pay me $1 straight out. She's not going to say, leave your salt here. No. It's a need, you see. So if you're looking into starting a business, look for solutions. Solve a problem. And look for your customer. Don't just do it because somebody else is doing it. Did I talk too much?
Oh, no, you did not talk too much. No, like this is the thing. It's one of those things where, okay, look, we live in the UK, where it's a very, very different type of like business market, say. So when you talk about like, okay, the essentials, okay, look, when you go for a weekly shop and I go for a weekly shop, it's sort of autopilot. We don't need to think too much about it. I need this, and away. But when you're talking about, businesses in like Africa itself and everything like this, like, yes, the essentials. Look, start a business selling salt. Like, okay, there's not a lot of people in the UK which would like, I need to start a business selling salt because there is someone providing salt there already. That the essential, like those key essentials are taken care of by big supermarkets, everything like this. But when you're talking about it in like different areas, different groups of ladies who might like take business advice from you, you're like, going, look, forget about the high end, like fashion side of things, because look, your market doesn't like might not have enough people to survive, like make your business survive. Look at what's going on truly around you and make it happen. It's the same as it is here, but it's still a little bit different, if you get what I mean. There's a slight twist. Yeah. And like, it's just like, it's one of those things where I kind of look at it and go, yeah, I understand that. It makes common sense. But it's one of those things where I think people still get too caught up. Well, I imagine there's some people who get caught up with like, the bling, but not the sort of like fundamentals of business, if you get what I mean.
Right? Because when it comes to here, because we have much more, it's now more about branding. Because when I go into the supermarket, there are 10 types of salts. I'm looking now at the branding. Oh, that looks nice. Did they say taste was finest? Why is it so fine? And I'm reading the back. I've got that luxury to choose.
Yes.
And it's more now about even clothes. You won't buy it unless it's named, it's branded something. So it's more now about branding. It's more now about luxury. It's not about just putting out, covering my body. It's about who are you wearing. So if you want to start business, do go ahead, even salt, go ahead and sell salt. Just brand it well. Brand it well so that when I walk into a supermarket, there's something unique about your salt that's going to draw me to your salt and think, this must be much better than us, the salt. Honestly, this salt is much better. Look at the box. Look at it. And when I buy it, it will actually, because I've convinced myself up here, it will taste better. And I'll tell my friends, this salt is much better. Honestly, try it.
Yeah, no, but like, this is the thing. One of the things, like talking about branding, like if you're in either a Tesco's, Sainsbury's, wherever, and you like, okay, I don't know if you're a person who drinks alcohol or anything like this, but like, one of the things, like if you get economy lager, okay, now there is a brand called Carlsberg, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the same lager what goes into the local, the economy lager is exactly the same as Carlsberg, because they can't, like, the machines which they use everything to fill it up, they can't change everything for one sort of small batch which is run out for a supermarket. They have to just like, okay, away it goes. So it's like, that sort of branding, it's like just there, foremost. Now, well, I was about to say yes. Yes. Now, with regards to it all, because I was going to ask you one last question.
Okay, that's correct.
Yeah, because I was just going to simply ask, like, with regards to everything you do now, where do you actually think, like, can see yourself, like, the direction you're moving in to? Because you're helping all these ladies set up their business, being their coach. Where do you think you can see yourself in the next few years?
I'm hoping I'll still be doing what I'm doing, but on a bigger stage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I think I've got a message worth spreading, and I want more and more women to love each other and to just know that another woman is not your competition, but your sister. And I want to spread that on a bigger platform so that more and more women know that it's better to hold hands than to fight.
Mm.
So in 10 years, in 10 years, I think I want more people to check it and spread it. If I give you the love, spread it, give it to another sister and tell the sister to spread it so that communities rise through us as women.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are the foundation of the love. When you cook with the love, you feed with the love, and you hello with the love. Now, if women start fighting, even the men, you can't be friends with your wife's enemy. It doesn't work. But when women unite, that's the word I want to spread to women. 10 years time, I want more and more women working together, stronger. Just ending all this poverty stuff.
Mm.
One community at a time. If you get 5 women in one community holding hands, it will grow. That community will suffer less. Kids will go to school and people smile when their tummies are full. I don't know, I love Africa too much.
Brilliant, brilliant. I like that. I like that a lot. And look, yes, hopefully, with with your will and determination, you can build a truly strong sisterhood of ladies, entrepreneurs moving their way up and making things bigger, better, and stronger for their local communities wherever they are in the world.
Yes, they can join us on Global Business Women Organization. That's the platform we work on, and that's where women from all over the world can network, support each other, and exchange knowledge and market to each other. Because we've got different talents, we've got different capabilities, but together we can be strong like this. Strong.
Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. Debrah, I'm going to have to say thank you for coming on today. You have been an absolute superstar, to say the least. Yes. Can you tell the lovely people how they can find you out there on the big wide world webs?
All the people, all the ladies can join Global Business Women Organization. The website is gbwo.org. And they can find me on Facebook and find me on LinkedIn and send me a message. I will reply. I might take a bit longer, but I will reply, and let's network.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Thank you for coming on today, Debrah. And I like to say thank you to you, my friends, my life warriors, for staying with us up until this point in the show. Please stay safe, stay well, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic, be all the positive bees. Haha, like the thumbs up. You can be in this world and then some. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. Boom. Peace. Yeah, waving, and we